So you've decided to homeschool your child. Congratulations and welcome to the club. So in this video, I'm going to share some tips on how you can start homeschooling today. But I'm sure the question on your mind is, where do I even begin? I had the same questions when I first started homeschooling, but luckily I had a few friends that were already deep in the trenches who were able to help me out. Maybe you do as well, or maybe you don't, but I'm here to help you out. I got your back. So here are my homeschooling tips to help you on your journey. So tip number 1, check your state or country laws. Each state in the US has their own laws about home education, so be sure to check what your state has to say. The easiest way to do this is to visit HSLDA's website. I have a link down in the description. Also known as the Homeschool League Defense Association. They break down the requirements for each state, including how to withdraw from public school, requirements to legally homeschool, resources specific to your state, and homeschooling forums available in your state. They also have a wonderful visual of which states have the least regulation and which has the most. Tip number 2, allow time for deschooling. Deschooling is an integral part of your homeschool journey. Not only is it beneficial for your child, but it's also essential for you to do. Most of us have decided to homeschool because our children's school system didn't meet their needs. So why bring those standards and methods back into our homes? So take time to relax, do no schoolwork, observe your child, connect with your child, and release your beliefs on what school and education should look like. And instead dream about what it could look like in your home. Tip number 3, take a deep dive and research. I know, it's so much easier for someone like me to tell you what to do, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, but to be honest, if you really want to learn about homeschooling and the different methodologies and how you can approach it, you need to do your own research. Because educating your child is not a one-size-fits-all case. You need to be well-informed so that you can make the best decision for your child. So take a few days or even a few weeks to read, watch videos, listen to podcasts or audiobooks to become well-informed. It's okay if your school year has already started before you finish or even begin. Tip number 4, develop a homeschool guide. Now, I'm not telling you need to create a pamphlet about your homeschooling, nothing like that, but you need to develop a guide that will help you along your journey. It's especially important when you have naysayers in your life that may distract you from your mission. So take a few days to reflect on why you chose to homeschool your children and write that down into a mission statement. And maybe frame that somewhere up on a wall so that you can see it, especially on those hard days when you're wondering why you're even doing this. So the next step in developing your homeschool guide is to take your mission and decide how you're going to implement everything that you wrote down. You do this as a vision board or as a formal statement, whatever best works for you. So your homeschool vision will guide you in choosing a homeschooling method, your daily routines and rhythms, your curriculum, your resources, your activities, and so much more. Tip number 5, whether you are a type A or type B or C or whatever I am, it's really important to have a general idea of what you want your children to accomplish. And working backwards helps you kind of see how it can be accomplished by the end of the year. It'll make your life simpler. So don't forget to stay to the end so you can get my 2 tips to help you on your homeschool journey. Tip number 6, remember you do not need to recreate school at home. Please, don't. Most of us at one point or another try to recreate a one-room schoolhouse in our home, where the kids sit at desks, follow the detailed schedule, and do the work in a set amount of time. Remember, you don't need to be inside to learn. You don't need a textbook. And you, the parent, does not need to be all-knowing. The beauty about homeschooling today is that we can easily look it up if we don't know something, and we learn together with our children. Tip number 7, start the year out slowly. I know. When we first start homeschooling or any type of new endeavor, we just want to go all in. But the thing is that you need to slow down. This is a totally new approach to life for both you and your kids, and you need to ease into it. So for us, our first week of schooling is usually a big celebration. We're enjoying the fact that we get to stay home and learn. So we usually go on a field trip. We go out to eat, we grab some ice cream, we make it an enjoyable week. And then after we celebrate the new year, we slowly ease into our homeschool by just introducing one new subject a week. And by the end of the month, we're pretty much in our groove. Tip number 8, develop a daily rhythm. I don't know about you, but meeting a specific deadline makes me stress out. Now imagine meeting multiple deadlines within one day via a schedule and a packed timeline. So let's throw that schedule out of the window and instead develop a homeschool routine. We all need structure in our lives, and routines are essential in creating a safe and stable environment. Our typical routine includes morning tech time, breakfast, morning basket, play outside, lunch, play outside, independent work, quiet time, play outside, dinner, evening tech time, and nighttime read aloud. Did you notice a lack of scheduled time frames? Also, we only school 4 days a week. Tip number 9, you do not need to do all the subjects in one day. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to get checked off your to-do list and a lot of planning on your part too. So instead of doing it all in one day, consider block scheduling or looping your subjects. For example, looping is where you create a list of subjects you'd like the kids to tackle, and whatever you don't get to will roll over to the next day, becoming first on the to-do list. Whereas blocking is where you choose a period of time to tackle a subject. It could be a certain days or even a term. Tip number 10, drop the curriculum that does not work. It's okay. No one's gonna get mad. But maybe your pocketbook. Suppose the curriculum you bought was highly recommended by all your friends and featured on all your favorite Instagrammers, but it's making your child miserable. It's okay to drop it. Trust me. Homeschooling is about trial and error. It's about figuring out what works for you and your family and finding what will fit your teaching style and your child's learning style in a packaged curriculum is going to be very difficult. And sometimes if you're like me, you're kind of tired of spending money all the time buying this curriculum and that curriculum when it doesn't work. So you end up creating your own, which is really quite simple. So what may work for your family in the beginning of your homeschooling journey is probably not going to work at the end of the homeschooling journey. And then on top of that, if you're homeschooling multiples, sometimes the math curriculum that works for one child is not going to work for the other. And yes, it may be a little bit harder for you because you have to juggle through 2 different math curriculums. But trust me, you want to do what's best for your child, because that's why we homeschool, so that we can provide our kids with the best learning situation for them. Remember, it's okay to make changes and to pivot. You do not have to be locked in. Tip number 11, utilize the library. Especially if you decide not to go the curriculum route. The library is free and it's fun. There's really no need in breaking your budget and buying all the beautiful homeschool books that you see. But if you must buy, I recommend finding what you need or want at your local bookstore, your homeschool co-op, or the homeschool curriculum marketplace group on Facebook. Tip number 12, take breaks. Lots of them. In my opinion, one of the most critical aspects of homeschooling is rest. Without rest, there will be burnout. Daily rest, weekly rest, and long-term rest are essential for both our mental and physical health. Plus, making time for rest will help teach your children about finding balance in life. Real quick, if you're finding value in this video, be sure to click the like and leave a comment down below. I really do appreciate it. Now for my 2 bonus tips that will help you on your homeschooling journey. Number 1, this is some people may get kind of upset about this one, but consider limiting technology. I mean, trust me, my kids get a good amount of screen time, but they are also very active. I think there's a really good case about teaching our kids about balance, and sometimes that means we need to put limits on things like technology. And then bonus tip number 2, get out of the house. Like seriously, go now. Going outside is an excellent way of keeping kids off of the screen and keep your house clean. I mean, who here is tired of cleaning the house every day? I know I am. So not only do you and your kids get a break from being at home, but you also get the psychological benefits of being out in nature if that's something you choose to do. Being outdoors helps reduce stress and promotes healing. While you're out, why not go on a field trip to the zoo, a botanical garden, a state or national park, or to a museum? So there you have it, the basics of getting started with homeschooling. It's really not as daunting as it seems. And trust me, the longer you do it, the easier it'll get. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that you can get updates for when I post my other videos about homeschooling. And remember, have fun, enjoy it. You're at home. Learning should be a joyful experience for both you and your child.